Oh yeah. What up? 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 And welcome to another week of Journey of a Jackass. And I am your host with the most, Daya Shakur. Right? And everything. Gotta get my sound right. I am your host, Daya Shakur. Man, listen. I hope everybody's been doing good out here and stuff like that. And hopefully none of y'all fools was down there involved in that bullshit down at the port with fighting, getting banned for life. There was kids out there getting banned for life. We got to do better. And y'all wonder why Carnival is trying to do things so we don't come back. Don't bring none of that over to Norwegian, Virgin, Royal, wherever the case may be, all right? But the summertime is here. Make sure your kids are actively involved in something. Grown folks ain't playing with your kids, evidently from that video, because it was a grown lady fighting a little girl, all right? We don't need none of that. I don't like that part of the culture that y'all believe in, right? So I got somebody here to speak about the culture tonight. You know what I'm saying? Arthur Lawrence Hogue, right? He's a professor, educated man, right? And he's gonna probably talk some sense into a lot of y'all that be watching my show. So make sure y'all pay attention. He's gonna tell y'all what culture really is, right? Especially all you illiterates nowadays. Too many of y'all can't read. Fellas, before you take on the date, make sure tell her to read a sentence. Because there's a lot of that going on. We're gonna talk to the professor tonight because I've been seeing studies. I literally posted a study a couple weeks ago about how Fortune magazine reported it that a lot of kids are showing up to their freshman year in college not being able to read past the 7th grade level. And it was an alarming number. So we're gonna talk about that too. I'm gonna see how he feels about that, right? But y'all know before we get in this author talk, this education talk, story time with me. Okay, so he's a college professor. I went to college. Now, y'all know I did the military and stuff like that. Now, I always wasn't the best student. I always wasn't the best student, right? Reading, reading, doing dumb stuff, all that, right? Shit. In college, that's why I had to leave and join the military. Doing dumb stuff in college, doing dumb shit in in the streets, stuff like that. So I'm gonna tell you a story about how I was part of the culture and it did not work out. All right. So I find myself in college, Northeast Pennsylvania, Robert Morris College. I'll never forget it. At the times was had there, right? So anyway, we had a guy there, right? He wanted to be cool with us. We was all from the DC area, PG County, all that stuff, right? We used to mess with him all the time, you know what I'm saying? He used to mess with us all the time. Like, it was just fun times. But sometimes we took the fun too far, especially me. You know, when Charlie Murphy said about Rick James, you got your line steppers. I was a habitual line stepper. So anyway, we up there, we having a good time. So one day, I decide I'm going to skip off all classes. Y'all know my author. I had 5 books out. I know my author of all classes. I said I'm going to skip English literature. Who would have thought me? Anybody can make it. If I can do it, you can do it, right? If I can read it, you can read it. If I can write it, you can write it. So anyway, I decide in the middle of the day, hey, I ain't going to this class. Fuck this class. I'm not going. I don't want to go. I just want to go do something fun. So the dude we always mess with he had his car parked outside the Hale Hall. That's where we had like activities and all that stuff. And he had the windows down. So me being a young hood dude from DC, right? I said, well, PG County, Landover. And I go out there and I say, man, you know what? I'm about to try something. And I did. So I hopped in through his window. And he had like one of these little small brown beater cars. It was like, it was easy. So I hop in there, right? Boom. If I sat my ass in class, I wouldn't have went through all the stuff that I went through. Hear me? So I said, okay, cool. I jump in there. Wow. Climb underneath the dashboard. Pop it out. I pop out the steering column. Because I always carried like a little, like it wasn't a knife, but it was like a little handle thing. Always carried that with me. I don't know why I always had it with me. But I did like this and I popped it off. Pow. I said, okay. Looked under the steering column, stuck it in there, fired the car right on up. So now I was going to be in English class. Instead, I'm outside committing crime, right? So this was back in the 90s before they had cameras and stuff everywhere and stuff like that. So I back out. I start driving away. Get it. I'm all going around campus, honking the horn at people like it's my car. Yeah. Beep, 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 beep. Right? I leave off the campus, right? Go across the street to the grocery store. I leave the car running. We was in a safe place. I leave the car running. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, okay, cool. I started riding towards Pittsburgh. We was in Moon Township, so we was a little ways from Pittsburgh. So I started riding towards Pittsburgh. Just out there getting speeding on the highway. When I should have been sitting in English literature. You hear me? I never forget it. So I'm like this, I'm speeding. Next thing you know, I look in my rearview mirror. I see police cars behind me. I was like, oh no. Instead of me pulling over, guess what I do? I drive. I go into the movie theater parking lot like I was about to pull over. Drove around the back of it because they had these big wide cars. I drove around the back of it, hit the curb, and slid out. Hold. I slid out, drove, started losing control of the car, got back control of the car, made it back, hit the ramp, hit the highway. I looked in the rearview mirror. I thought I lost them, all that stuff. Nope. So I'm riding. I was like, okay, cool. I looked up in the rearview. I was like, all I gotta do is make it back to campus because I know where to leave the car where I can go in the woods and get away. You know what I'm saying? Because we used to do some wild stuff up there. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm driving. I'm looking. They all gaining on me. And I'm like, I hope they don't hit this bad car because I can't afford to pay for it and neither can my mom. So I'm like, make it back to campus. Drove up the hill. They had the steep hill going up, and then you go around, you go downhill. So the police slow down when they get on campus. Because they start calling the campus police. Hey man, we looking for this car, blah, blah, blah. So they already called ahead. So we go down the hill. I go down the hill. Campus police right there. I'm like, oh man, here we go. But they was in the street with no cars. So I just got to put my head down so they couldn't see me on the steering wheel. And I just drove it. I just hit it again. Got back over to my hell hole. The dude called the dude, his car, see me. He said, what are you doing in my car, dude? What are you doing in my car? Right? And then I'm like, go, boom. So I'm boom, jump out, strike it to the woods. Gone. You know what I'm saying? Went to the woods, all the stuff. The camera security didn't see me. He saw me though. And I was like, I'll beat your ass if you say anything. Boom, boom, boom. We turn. I get right into the woods, strike out to the woods, and I already knew where to go. And then hit the block, and then come around the block, and then come back to the dorms. Man, listen, when I say they had the dogs out there, they had everything. I was walking back to the dorms. They said, hey, man, he looked like the guy that was driving. I thought the guy told on me. He didn't tell on me. He said, "Hey man, come on, let me talk to you." So I went over there. They said, "Man, where were you today?" I said, "I was in English literature class." I said, "You know what I'm saying? My teacher could tell you I was there." Like, okay, you was there the whole time? I was like, "Yeah, I was there the whole time." He could tell you I was there. So I said, "All right, come on over to the car," right? So me not knowing my rights, they said they started patting me down. Now I went through a police chase. I went through running from the police, evading the police. I'm talking about driving everywhere. So I stole a car. And you know what they put me in the police out for and handcuffed me for? Because I had a damn dime bag of weed on me. Because I had a damn dime bag of weed, right? It was a catch and release. They took me down, processed me, and I got back out, right? But all of this could have been avoided if I stayed in class like I was supposed to, or I had somebody else with me. With that being said, stay y'all ass in class and don't do nothing like I did. And that's story time with me. Hey, now, again, we have an author and a professor on here. You know what I'm saying? Literary wordsmith, a master with the vocabulary on here, right? So coming to the stage, the one, the only, Lawrence Hogue. How you doing tonight?
I'm fine, thank you.
All
Thanks
right,
for
now
having
see.
me.
Oh, no problem, man. See, that's the way the show's supposed to start. Tell the story why I should have sat in class.
Yes.
I'm sure now you're a little bit more advanced right now, so I'm sure that you ain't had no experiences like that.
I didn't, but I would love to start with that whole experience that you just talked about in
Uh-huh.
terms of the world out there and what can happen if you're in the class.
That's right.
And if you're in class, right?
Yep.
And refer to a novel that I discuss in the book by Toni K. Bambara, because she opens the book talking about Black youth who are in the streets, being self destructive,
Mm-hmm.
having trauma, having despair, a disillusion. They're hurting each other, they're not loving each other. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, the whole book is about where the elders, where the traditions, where's the culture, where is the elders that will teach the youth the
Mm-hmm.
wisdom.
Yep. So,
Um,
so I'm gonna tell you, like right now, this is just me, right? So right now, the black culture is broken. Like you got black people and then you got niggas. So
yes,
you know that it's broken right now. Right now we have we cherish toxic music, toxic relationships, gang mentality, baby mama culture, stuff like that. The nuclear household is gone. You can't. It's hard to look for Big Mama when Big Mama's only 34.
right.
And when she had her kid at 17, and her 17-year-old is pregnant or had a child. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yes.
different. Things have changed. I'm not gonna say it evolved. We have digressed a ton. Now, before we get into this, tell everybody who you are because we about to get into it.
Yes, my name is W. Lawrence Hogue, Professor Emeritus of English at the University of Houston, the author of actually the most recent book, Struggle, Resistance, Decolonization, is my eighth book. I just retired 2 years ago from the English department at the University of Houston. I was affiliated in the Afro American Studies department. The PhD is from Stanford in Modern Thought and Literature.
Uh-huh.
Spent some time in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, this most recent book, was really informed by my journey to Africa, because it
Okay.
was actually in Africa that I was able to connect with some of the folklore, some of the culture that
Mm-hmm.
these writers that I talk about in this book
Mm-hmm.
bring into their fiction. And you're right, it's not the culture that's broken, it's
Yep.
the culture of old.
That's right. Yeah. The culture of old. Like I
Yeah,
don't say we're so far removed. And then when I have these conversations with people, I'm like, I can beat you down with statistics all day, and you still won't believe it. I'm like, our women are married at the lowest rate in the country amongst all women, right?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? The most unhealthiest. We're the most unhealthiest people. The men are dying younger than any other people in the world, right?
yes, yes,
Our women are bigger than any other women except for Samoans and people over there, Pacific Islanders.
yes,
They're bigger than
yes,
everybody else in the world. Like these things, this part, that part of the culture is broken. I remember
yes,
seeing my uncles and them, you know, wearing suits everywhere and dressed up nice everywhere, keeping themselves in shape, stuff like that. We don't see that no more. There's
right,
no shame. There's no shame.
right.
I, we,
But there is that culture, that communal culture,
yep,
where Black people helped each other,
yep,
where Black people supported each other,
yep,
where parents, elders had no problems talking to the kids when they saw them misbehaving in the streets.
yep,
That's the culture, that's the old culture that we've abandoned,
yep.
but the literature brings it back.
Oh,
So if the
got it.
students are in the classroom reading the
Mm-hmm.
books that particularly that I write about in this particular book of mine, critical book of mine, it talks about that communal thing.
I
Our
got.
taking responsibility not only for ourselves, but taking
Mm-hmm.
responsibility for our neighbors, taking
Yep.
responsibility for the elders in the community, and taking
Mm-hmm.
responsibility for each other.
So one of the things I do. So one of I like it absolutely disgusts me when I see these people on social media talking about, well, we need to do this in the Black community, blah blah blah, but they're not actively doing anything. They just sit on their couch scrolling and all this stuff. And then when I tell them, I'm like, I'm talking to the juveniles. I'm at the detention center talking to them. When I'm an advocate for beating other people's kids. I say you messing up, I'm gonna beat your ass. And Ed did tell your mama I did
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So that's the community that we are missing, right?
yes, it
It,
is.
yeah, I grew up in it. My neighbor was allowed to bring belt to my ass if he seen me do something wrong.
Yes,
So
but it's also there's an aspect of it where we don't have anybody talking to us that we can go to when we have problems.
yeah,
When a 15-year-old or 16-year-old has problems,
mm-hmm,
if the parents are not in a position to give them advice, there
mm-hmm,
needs to be people in the community, teachers, preachers, who
mm-hmm,
are there to listen to people and give them advice and give them wisdom, because
mm-hmm.
that is one of the ways that you keep the kid on the straight arrow.
Yeah, no, and that's absolutely right. I like my friend out here, John. Shout out to John. He does a men's group on Thursdays, and he brings kids in. We talk to them, stuff like that. We try to catch them before it's too late. I go after the fact that when they're
Yeah,
already in there, and then I tell them my story. Like I was out there like y'all. I went through these things like y'all. School to prison pipeline. Then one day I said, man, something got to change. And then I left to join the military, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life.
yes.
Yeah,
The of course, a lot of it has to do with we sort of lost control to the media,
yep,
certain kinds of music,
yep,
the internet,
yep,
because sometimes the streets raise the kid rather than the parents and the community raise the
yep,
kid.
yep. YouTube.
And YouTube,
Yeah, yeah, yep. And
certain
I'm
kinds of hip hop.
that's right. The music, everybody. I'm talking about you coming. Is these kids coming out here from two parent households, right? These are the guys that's getting hurt out here, coming from two parent households, and they listen to the music. But I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of
Yes,
that. I want to do this. I want to go and be in the streets with that. And then once they get out there and find out how real it is, they be like, well, wait. It's too late now. You're already going inside where you want to learn from men. They don't want to teach you nothing.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So
No, and this global culture
mm-hmm,
that has emerged
mm-hmm,
um, is having devastating effects on
yes.
the kids. But I still think, I mean, if we look at, say, the Chinese in this country, or we look at a lot of the Asian communities, They have Saturday schools where they teach
Yep,
Chinese culture.
yep. So
Um,
you know what group of black people do that? I ain't mean to cut you off. You know what group of black people do that? The
who?
Nation of Islam.
That's right.
The Nation of Islam does that.
Yes.
They have teachings. They be like, come on in here and learn about this on Saturdays. I grew up in the Nation of Islam, and
Okay.
we would go to the mosque, and you know, say Sundays, Wednesdays, stuff like that. But Saturdays, hey, come on, my dad would drop us off in there, and it was like
Yes.
it was a classroom. Like, come
Yes.
on, the education don't stop. So,
Yes. And the whole movement with Ron Karenga in the 60s and 70s, they
yep,
also had these
yes,
activities for young kids where they
hmm
brought them in and they taught them African history, taught them African American history, gave them
yep,
literature, gave them wisdom, gave them advice, gave them
mhm,
direction.
yep.
Somehow all of that has fallen apart. And you're right, we're sort of in the streets.
Yep, it was in the streets, and then not only that, like it's funny that you said that, right? Because I'm actually reading a book right now called "The Assassination of Fred Hampton,"
Yes.
and I'm actually reading that book right now, and they talk about like they had schools, they had meal programs, they had
Yes.
medical centers, all that stuff, and but that was the last of it. Like they was the last dying breed of it. It just kind of after COINTELPRO tore them apart.
And
Everybody
but you
else.
know,
Okay, go
most
ahead.
of all of those programs, even like Jesse Jackson's program, I remember being in Chicago,
Uh-huh.
being in California when the Panthers were there. We talk about the political thing, but they had, as you said, they had breakfast programs for kids. They had places
Mm-hmm.
for kids to go after school. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Most Black organizations historically have had
Mm-hmm.
that dimensions to them. Even the
Mm-hmm.
NAACP had those things.
Yep.
Many of them don't have it now, and that's why.
So now this is what in this book, the Assassination of Fred Hampton, it was explained, and which is true, right? A lot of these programs that they had, the Rainbow Coalition, NAACP, the Black Panthers, Nation of Islam, they had these programs. What happened was politicians started taking these programs and start running on them.
Yes,
But they could not commit to the program like these organizations did, but they promised it to the people to get in office.
right. And of course, this thing about you say it that way because which means that there was a shift from those community kind of leaders to
Yeah,
politicians,
that's
right?
right. Yeah.
And we know who politicians are.
Yeah. And two heads of the same snake.
Absolutely. And so when you think about it, I remember the president of Ghana was trying to find uh, Black leaders in this country to talk about reparation when he went to the United Nations to talk about
Mhm.
slavery. And he couldn't find anybody but politicians, which means that the time of Malcolm and the time of Martin and the time of the Black Panthers, where you had community based leaders, not
Mhm.
politicians,
Mhm.
these things were happening. But
Yep.
as you're right, when the politicians took over in the name of these organizations and communities, well, they were not in control of themselves.
Yep. They were being controlled, and then not only that, they did not engage, and that's one of the things right now. That's why so many we're in the position that we're in right now. While we're talking about politics, is that us as a whole, as a mass, Black people do not engage in politics because we don't believe we're going to see anything from it.
Right.
And it stemmed from the 60s and 70s when they came and started taking over the programs that were doing for us, and it became
Yes.
systemic. You know,
No, and I constantly had conversation with friends of mine about. I almost forget that there's a Congressional Black Caucus with 62 members, and I never hear from them.
nope, you never do. And you know when they do come around, when it's time to get reelected, we
No
had we
time to
had a
get reelected.
I was in a barber shop, and it was a guy. He coming in, he's like, "Hey, gentlemen, how y'all doing this afternoon? Blah blah blah. I'm so and so, and I'm running for this." Everybody's like, "Man, get the fuck out of here. We not voting for you. We never seen you out here. Go somewhere.
Right.
Take that down the street. If you want, the owner was like, if you want to vote in here, you start being active out here and engaged. Send them away. Like, go. We don't want you here." It's the same repeated cycle, and it gets tiring.
So the question becomes, then how do we resuscitate, constitute these community organizations and programs
Yep.
that is in the community, that is
Mm-hmm.
concerned about the community, that speaks to the community, that we can refer our young children to,
Mm-hmm.
that sort of replace the politicians who are not doing anything in terms of helping us.
So that now there has to be a shift in who the kids look up to. That's why I'm glad that me and all my good men out here are doing what we supposed to be doing, talking to the youth and all this stuff. Hey man, you better not be doing this, keep them grades good, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there has to be a shift. Remember, at one point, when the politicians were coming in, they said, oh, we don't trust the politicians. The next person they could trust was a gang member, street leader, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Stuff. That's what and that's where you start seeing increase in violence, all that stuff. It's like, well, we got to protect our hood. It went from protecting our people to protecting our hood.
Right.
That's what the shit.
And of
That's what the
course,
shit went.
and of course, they're the entertainers that we, the Jay-Z's and the Puff Daddies and those
Yep.
people who I don't think have the knowledge to show that kind of leadership, but I'm not sure that they even want to.
No. And once you get to a certain financial status, this is me, right? Once we get to a certain financial status, right? What's the first thing we do? We move out the hood.
We leave out the hood.
We leave out the hood. We just like, hey, we know we want to do better, right? A lot of my friends still live in the hood. They say, I'm not leaving here. I got the house here. This house is going to stay here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I said, if you're going to stay here, what are you doing to make it better?
Yes.
You're just here. You're just here.
Yes.
Like, why not do a backpack drive over here? Do a turkey drive. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. What are you going to do to make it better? You're just here to be here. That's what, and I mean,
And that seems to be across the board. I mean, the athletes. I mean, they put once a year during Christmas. They do the bags to the community. But in terms of really being involved in communities, the entertainers, I mean, especially the filthy rich ones, that they're jet setting, they're not in the community, they're not doing anything. So I still come back to, we got to find a way to have community leaders who are not rich, who are not entertainers, who are not basketball players, but who are committed to the community in terms of the culture, in terms of the youth, in terms of getting kids to read, and in terms of getting kids to go to the library. I don't know how you resuscitate those kinds of organizations.
So now, with the history of people standing out and becoming leaders, right? I'm talking about with our history. We had our Huey Newtons, we had our Malcolms, our Martins. We had, you know what I'm saying? We've had leaders throughout the years, right?
Yes.
How do we step into those leadership roles in our community without becoming a target? If that makes sense? Because
yes, it does.
When J. Edgar Hoover said, one of the things he said, we need to take these guys out. We don't want them having a messiah. And there are still people that have that mindset.
And if you look at it historically, when we've had leaders who really had the Black community at heart, we've gotten rid of those leaders. The country, the government, the FBI, Hoover, they've got, I mean, come on, they destroyed the Panther. You mentioned Fred Hampton, Martin Luther King, Malcolm. They get rid of these people. Of course, they do the same thing in Africa as well, but they do. But I think we still have to come back.
Yeah.
We have to come back with more leaders.
I believe that. I believe in unity. I believe in unity and stuff like that. Everybody loves everybody. I'm not afraid to engage with everybody to have the hard conversations. I do it all the time. I'm not afraid to engage. I will go, like, it'll be some guys sitting in front of the liquor store. I'm like, man, why y'all out here? What happened?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Y'all sitting out here drinking. Like, what's going on? We need more people like that engaging. Right. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about their reactions. Like, I'm not worried about what they're going to do, what they're going to say, stuff like that. There's a lot of people that's afraid of that. That's why they leave. First thing they do, leave the hood, go way out there. And another thing that we're missing is Black communities, right? When these guys was out here talking about we're going to boycott the Chinese. We're going to boycott Target. We're going to boycott all this stuff. I'm like, okay, so what is our alternative, especially in the Black community? Because the Asians have the beauty supply, they have the carryouts, they have the foods. The Asians have the 7-Elevens, the corner stores, the gas stations. They have all of that. So what is our alternative, right?
Yes.
So,
Two things. First, I want to just bring up, go back to the Nation of Islam.
mm-hmm.
Farrakhan is still around.
He is.
They have not been able to, I mean, when Elijah Muhammad was around, they didn't off him.
No.
They have not off Farrakhan. So the question becomes, what can we learn
Yep.
from the Nation
Elijah,
of Islam in terms of surviving
yep.
and being functional in the community?
Yes, and Elijah Muhammad was crazy. It's Elijah Muhammad, you know, he had a you know, like I said, I read a lot. Elijah Muhammad had infrastructure. They like, you know, they had infrastructure on grocery stores, all stuff. And one of his main messages, we will not go outside of our circle, right?
Yeah.
We will not go to them or anything. We will survive on our own. And that was one of his major messages. We don't need them for anything. We want cars, we're gonna find a way to build them. We want gas stations, we're gonna find a way to open them. You know, things to that nature. He had an economic structural plan. He did.
In fact, there was a period when I was in Chicago in the 70s, and the restaurant was there, the grocery stores were there. He really did have that infrastructure where that was very self-sufficient. If you were a member of the nation, it was self-sufficient. There was a place for you to go in terms of buying groceries. There were restaurants that you could go to. There were fish places you could go and buy fish. Newspapers that you could go and buy knowledge. I don't know what it's like in Chicago now, but once it was very effective.
Yeah, very, very effective. And I think once you know, a lot of I think once Elijah Muhammad died, it was more about keeping people in the nation. If that makes sense?
Yes.
My dad's been in the nation for 60 years now, 60 years now, over 60 years. Yeah, so he and he's still active. He goes there. He was for a long time, he was the minister of defense for the mosque. So it was like he used to do the karate exhibitions and all that stuff. And he was like, and I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot about that. And then I also observed what community looked like.
Yes,
I did.
In Chicago, there was also I know you, Hakeem Adabudi, Don Ali. He had the Institute of Positive Education. Very active in the community. Had Saturdays where they brought kids in. In New Jersey, Amira Baraka had the Spirit House that was involved. I'm at a loss as to why Don Ali is still in. Hakeem Adabudi is still in Chicago, but I'm not sure if he is thriving as well as he used to. He was just thriving in the 70s and 80s. But those were the Nation of Islam in Chicago and the Institute of Positive Education were very effective. And believe it or not, in the 70s and 80s, you were not afraid to move around the south side of Chicago.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, now you better have it on you.
Right. They had a presence there.
Yep.
There is no presence now. So the gangs have taken over.
The gangs are taking over. And that's what it brings me back to the point. It's like, there's no infrastructure, right? Now, if you go to these vending events, you go outside to a vending event, it's all these black businesses out here, authors, crafters, artists, all of these things right here, right? Why can't we culminate this and put it in one store? Like, why in our own Walmart? We all make our own products. Why we can't put it in our own Walmart? That would be the beginning of, you know what I'm saying? That would be the beginning of community.
Yes.
I think so. And then you can have events, kids events and stuff like that. Bring your kids, bring your kids back here, free coloring books for the youngins, stuff like that. And then stuff for the teens to do, sports, athletics and stuff like that for them to do. Then after they done what they doing, we could talk to them. Like, hey man, now how y'all grades at school? What's going on? Stuff like that. And you could get people in the masses instead of just 1 or 2 or 10 or 11. I think that would be the beginning.
It
As a
would be.
thought. Yep.
It would be. But just think about the people who are feeling that vacuum right now.
Yeah.
And these are the people who are calling the boycotts, right? And
Yep.
I have been having these conversations about, well, I'll talk about one of them, that reverend in Atlanta. I kept saying he's called the boycott from his multi-million dollar house.
Yeah.
I never see him in the streets. I never see him in the streets. I
Never.
mean, when he boycotted Target, he did it from the pulpit, but I
Yep.
never saw him outside of Target
Saying we won't do it.
saying we won't do it.
Yep. And that is the truth. That's why I said social media warriors are crazy to me. They're like, oh, we're not gonna. They're sitting there with your nails done and this nice wig on and all that stuff. Oh, we're going to boycott the agents. You just went to the beauty supply store. That wasn't no
Yeah.
black beauty supply store you went to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So get out of here. I like no. You got to pick and choose your battles, and that's where we are fair weather people. And Claude Anderson said this a while ago. He was like, if we had upward mobility in the black community in powernomics, he said we had upward mobility in the black community, we'd be the most powerful people on this earth.
Well,
Right?
what is it? Annually we're worth about $1.7 trillion.
Yes.
Larger than more than most African countries.
That's right. And you know why we're going to continue to be worth that and not worth it? I hate to say it, but as a whole, for the most part, we're dumb. We're consumers. Instead of entrepreneurs, we're consumers. There's a small percentage of us that are entrepreneurs. And I hate to call black people dumb, but we be doing dumb shit. Like I was seriously like, I'm like, you working a 9 to 5, you paying rent, but you paying rent in an apartment, but you got Louis Vuitton shoes in your closet, and you got a $100,000 BMW outside. You don't own no property, no land, no nothing. We dumb in that aspect, and it happens too many times, too many places across this country. It's a systemic issue.
Well, the commercial culture has taken over. Basically, what you're talking about is that the commercial culture, the culture of buying material things, has permeated the black community. It has taken over, and it has become a part of who we are.
Yeah. Everybody wants to go online and look flashy and stuff like that. And 90% of people that's online are broke, living in their mom's basement. They flashing with rent money that they gotta pay, stuff like that.
Yes.
So I be like, man, come on. We live in a time of facade.
Yes.
Everything's a facade right now.
Yeah. And of course, it is because of that you begin to realize why education is so important, why reading is so important.
That's
because
right.
the critique of that wasted way of life comes from education. It comes from Saturday schools. It comes from reading literature that critiques that.
That's right.
It comes from bringing Black intellectuals and teachers into the community where they can talk about, even if you have all of those things, the BMW, the house, the clothes, and all of that stuff, you're probably still not happy.
Yeah, facts. And people don't talk about that, right? And also, I think social media been around since, I think MySpace came in 05, right? Twitter came in like 09. Facebook came in 2007. I think YouTube came around 2010 or something like 2009, somewhere 2008, somewhere in there. I think right now, as a society, we're starting to see the decline from social media. I was wondering when we was going to see the effects. We're starting to see it now. These kids have to look at everything. They can't read nothing. Have you ever seen the video where it's a guy walking around Houston and he has a card and he's asking people to read a sentence and they can't read? It was like it said the invocation of the czar, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And couldn't none of them, they was like, invitation to the Cesar. That's it. So that's the effects of social media. These kids don't care about reading anything. So how do we beat them back in the classroom?
And I've been writing ever since I've been teaching.
The
writing was an engine from the teaching.
Okay. So were you inspired by any of your students to write?
They kept the motor going.
Yeah.
To teach where you take an argument into the classroom and and students can do wonderful things with that idea that you bring into the classroom, which
Uh-huh.
inspires you to develop it further.
Yep.
So almost every book that I've written has usually come out of my teaching, which means that students have played a role in the
Okay.
writing of the book. Yeah, they played a role in the writing of the book.
Okay. All right. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
The good, the bad, the ugly. But I always had very wonderful graduate courses, very
Uh-huh.
serious students, very smart students.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I was able to survive the undergraduates.
Yeah.
But as we talked earlier about, they're young, they're 18, they're 19 years old.
Uh-huh.
They have all kinds of things on their mind. There was a period when I could tell when one of them had left his or her phone in the car because they can't function without the phone.
No. Remember back in the day, we used to have map quiz. I mean, we used to print out the maps or open the map books like, okay, cool. And we had to learn it. Now, they can't drive from here to around the corner without their directions on the phone.
And so I learned to say to them, okay, you're not going to be here. Go get your phone out of the car.
Yeah, yeah.
um, but you with the undergraduate, you get a lot of this distraction.
Mm-hmm.
The new phone. I learned I don't have a cell phone, but I learned from my undergraduate students that every September a new iPhone comes out, right?
Yeah. And
And
then
I
they start phasing the old ones out. You have to buy something new.
You have to buy something new. And I would have them explaining to me what's the difference between the one last year and the one this year. And it was something very minor,
Yeah.
but they
And
wanted the most current phone. They wanted the most current phone. Uh,
that goes back to wasteful spending, right?
yes,
That goes back to wasteful spending.
wasteful spending.
Yeah. So
And it says a lot about it was like I was explaining to one of my nephews. Um, he could not make a distinction between the stuff he saw in movies and the stuff
uh-huh.
that he's in real life. So he was saying to me, I don't have that experience with this romantic love thing that goes on forever and forever. And I said to him, so where did you get this from? He said, well, the movies. And I said, well, in the movies, they can make that happen.
Yeah.
They can't make that happen in real life.
No, you have
Real
to do it for
life is
yourself.
struggle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a struggle. It's
it's a
it's
struggle.
it's work.
It's
And
work.
and right now the world we live in, people don't want to put in work.
They don't want to put in work. They
Nope,
don't
it's
want to
just
put in
on
work.
it's just on to the next person.
Right. It's on to the next person. And so it's like he had never thought about the fact that the movie was not his reality. Right. And that I kept saying to him, so show me somebody out here who has this relationship that is perfect.
Hmm.
And he couldn't do it.
Yep. And then I was like, even in Romeo and Juliet had to die.
Right. Yeah. In fact, we talked about Romeo and Juliet.
Juliet,
Right,
yeah.
because that's real art. But a lot of the stuff that they see in these other movies is blissful, it's wonderful. There's no contradiction, there's no conflict, and he thinks that's reality. And I kept saying to him, "That's not real."
Yep.
So that shows you how much that whole thing has taken over their lives, and they don't make a distinction
Media,
between the two.
social media, not as much mainstream media anymore, but yeah, media and social media for sure.
Taking over. I mean,
It's
I go
taking
to the
over.
gym. I go to the gym, and sometimes I will periodically count. And
Hmm.
most times, 95% of the people in the gym have
Hmm.
their phone.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, if I don't need to listen to music. I want to hear, like, if I go somewhere where I got to work on everything, I want to hear the instructions. Like I go to Orange Theory and I want to hear, all right, come on, you got to roll. I want to be pumped up while I'm doing my thing.
But so it has almost made them a totally different kind of person, and we don't quite know how to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, it's a cultural difference. We didn't have phones and everything like that. And one of the things, Yeah, I say, and the people will hit me when I say this. I mean, I love everybody, black, white, Hispanic, you know what I'm saying, Asian. I love everybody. Like,
Right.
that's just what it is. That's who I am,
Right.
right? But I think one of the worst things that happened to us as a people is when we integrated.
Oh yeah,
Because
people. There's a lot of conversation about that.
yes, we had our own everything. We had our own communities and stuff like that. We had our own police department, fire departments, and everything. But we wanted to be a part so bad. Now,
Yes.
up here in the DC area, in one my newest book, Masters, is about a slave superhero going around the South, like freeing slaves and killing slave masters, right? So,
Yeah.
um, in there, I tell the story of Willis Crossroad. Willis Crossroad was a black community with slaves. They ran away from the South and everything. They could
Yeah.
go there. It was like their land, right? They can go there. They had their own fire departments. Everybody got their own land, house. They got all that own stuff, right? Until the federal government said, well, no. People, and then people can start getting kidnapped out of Willis Crossroad because it was so
Yeah.
big. Because it was so big. So you know what they did with Willis Crossroad? The
What?
federal during Jim Crow, Willis Crossroad was annexed, and then they turned it into Dulles Airport. Now today, Dulles Airport.
Wow.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
you,
It's Dulles,
you,
and it goes all the way to, like to Chantilly, those areas, Ashburn, all that area over there.
yeah.
It used to be Willis Crossroads.
You know, Toni Morrison wrote a novel that captures what you're talking about. It's called
Uh-huh.
Sula. And she
Uh-huh.
talked about it begins with there was once that place.
Uh-huh.
And that place was this Black segregated community
Yep.
where everything was there.
Yep.
The beauty parlors, the grocery stores, the community, people knew each other. That we weren't killing each other.
Mm-hmm.
And she's writing it after the community had fallen apart.
Mm-hmm.
And she gives a very bleak picture of the integration.
Yeah. Yeah.
She
Yeah,
she she there's that scene where she has one of the main characters walking down the streets
mm-hmm.
and she meets these young Black males
Mm-hmm.
and she realizes that she doesn't know who they are. And she's afraid
Uh-huh.
of them. And she's afraid of them.
Uh-huh.
But it wasn't like that when the community was holding together and people
That,
knew each other.
and even not the one, even now to this day, yeah, you would see people clench their purse, cross the street,
Yes.
and stuff like that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Whereas though when the communities was like that, it was like, oh, everybody knew everybody. Everybody knew we'll go to the same stores, the same schools, same juke joints, same
Yes.
saloons,
Yes.
same hotels, like farm
Yeah.
the same land.
Yeah.
And they married within vicinities of each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know how we I'm not going to advocate resegregation, but we do need to get back to some kind of sense of community.
So there were 30 Black families. They bought up a bunch of land in Georgia and they all built their houses in there. It's a gated community. And they just went and bought the land and everything. And then inside that land, they have like a convenience store. Like they doing their thing, and they still building in on it.
Now, isn't there a suburb? Are you in the Washington D.C. area?
Yeah, I am.
There's a suburb of Washington D.C. in Maryland. Mm-hmm. Where these are sort of middle-class Blacks had gotten bored with living in white communities because they was always being stopped by the police. So they all just sort of decided to live in this suburb. I don't know the name of it, outside of Washington, D.C.
Well, I can tell you right now, Montgomery County, and PG County and Montgomery County were ranked as two of the blackest counties in the country, right?
Right.
And you're talking about Upper Marlboro, Bowie area, right? So
yes.
Yeah, so they started migrating everywhere. Now you got Charles County is 90%. PG County is majority Black and Hispanic, right?
Okay.
Montgomery County is Black, Hispanic. It's a lot mixed up there now. But yeah, the majority of this area, yeah.
Okay, so in those counties, do you get a sense of community, or it's still fragmented?
It's fragmented. It's fragmented. And when you get into certain neighborhoods, like you go start going out to like Upper Marlboro Boys and stuff like that, you wave at your neighbors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when you get to other parts, like if you look at them the wrong way, you might get shot.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Hey, like you just keep your head straight forward.
I still think that if we can get the emergence of certain kinds of leaders in these communities, we can bring some of that camaraderie, solidarity back. I think it's just a lack of leaders.
So this thing right here, this is the issue, right? I wanted to say this earlier. When we start discussing solidarity, bringing everything back, it has to involve money with people. If that makes sense, we have a black flea market, but you got to pay $100 to sell your stuff here, right?
Yeah.
And we're outside of the park. It's free to be at this park. Why I got to pay $100 to sell my stuff at a free park?
Right.
Just to say I'm part of a black business, or it's sports related. Like all the kids on the team are black, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you got to pay $500 for your kid to be on the team. Plus cleats, plus mouthpieces, plus cups, plus all that stuff. Yeah. So
no, I mean, I don't know I know Southern California fairly well, but Magic Johnson bought that. The Crenshaw district was a historically black community, and it was sort of going down. And then Magic Johnson went there and built this theater and some other things. But what was interesting about that was he didn't go there to build a community.
Oh yeah, no, he went for business.
Yeah,
because the first thing he did was put a Magic Johnson theater there.
Yeah, put a theater there, and it was to make money.
It was to make money. That's it.
To make money.
Yeah, and that's what. And these are the people that everybody's like, oh, he's the good guy, blah blah blah. Okay, cool, got it. All right. He's bringing light back to the community. He's bringing light back. He's bringing jobs back to the community. But in order to participate in the things that he brought back, you got to pay money. And the community is poor. So how you going to pay money if you ain't got none?
Right.
He's contributing to the crime.
Right. And that's fairly typical when the blacks with money decide to go back to the community. It really is about going back to make money. You get this in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, literally in Atlanta, the majority of those, I don't know if you know who Young Jeezy is and T.I., but
yeah, I know who T.I. is.
They have all the new housing and apartments and all that stuff going up. That's theirs.
Yes.
They making money, but that's their way of giving back, right?
Right.
Yes. That's their way of giving back. And let me go out here and build this 50-unit apartment complex.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm giving back to the community.
Right. And it's so there has to be a change in mind.
Yeah.
The mindset has to change.
Okay.
I mean, when you think about it, Martin Luther King was, when he was assassinated, he was broke, basically.
He was. And I'm mad that and what was crazy, he wasn't assassinated over civil rights. Because once we gained civil rights, they knew they had control over the community. As soon as we gained civil rights, and then the civil rights wasn't even really about us. Civil rights was about white women. It really wasn't about us. It wasn't about us. Affirmative action wasn't about us. DEI wasn't about us.
Right.
It was about them. Right.
And when it happened, most of us said, well, we weren't getting much out of it anyway. White women were getting.
They was getting everything. They was like, oh,
they were getting everything. Yeah.
Y'all can go vote now. Y'all can do this now. Y'all can go get driver's license. Y'all can do this. Y'all can do that. Right. And then it's like, well, why can I get a driver's license? I'm gonna tell you why they what I believe, right? Because after that meeting he had with the CIA, and they showed him like, well, we got these pictures with you and these white women in the hotel, and we'll put them out there. We will put them out there if you don't stop. So he went from civil rights to going to the churches talking about financial literacy and owning
Yeah.
our own and all that
Yes.
stuff. So
Yeah.
once he changed his tune, they was
Yeah.
like, they was like, oh no, we got to get him out of here. He's like,
Right.
now he tells them that they need to go back to having their own and building their own communities and all. So he's like, no, no, no. You fought for this. So you here now.
Yeah. And I think people like Magic Johnson and Jay-Z know
Yep,
that the society says it's okay for you to be a capitalist and make money,
yep,
but we don't want you organizing the community and talking about any kind of alternative values and building structures in the community.
yep,
Because historically, they've always burned them down, like Wall Street and Lockwood and these places where
yep,
there was a community, they burned them down. So,
yep.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I even, matter of fact, I talked about in the book I talked about Oscarville as well. Yeah, I talked about Oscarville, how they turned it into Lake Lanier.
yeah,
Yep. So
yeah,
yeah, man, a lot of cities they burn them down for nothing. So
burn them
if
down.
imagine that. So everybody say it's different. Yeah, it is. But let a leader emerge from that community. Then there's gonna be something
Yes,
else. Look, you see what we doing? Y'all can do it too. We got gas stations. We got community stores. We got our own grocery store. We got it over here. You can have it too. All you have to do is follow our blueprint. They're like, oh,
right,
his ass gotta go.
right, right. No, it's true.
It's
It's
like
true.
his ass gotta go. Hold on. He's organizing the blacks. He got to go.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And it explains why there's so many Asians and Arabs in Black communities because we can't get the loan, the redlining, we can't get
Yep.
the loans to start building those communities.
Yep.
Um,
So now let me tell you something crazy. Did you say that they said we can't get this? I'm gonna tell you what they are giving us now more than before.
okay,
They're giving us home loans right now. Higher
okay,
at the highest rate ever. Black people getting home loans before
okay,
than before, right?
okay.
You know why?
Why?
Because the interest rates are so damn high. They're like,
That's true.
let's keep
Yeah.
them in debt.
Yes.
When the interest rates was like 2%,
Yeah.
1.9%, it was hard as hell to get a home loan. You had to
That's
have
right.
800 credit score. You had to have 20, 30,000 down, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now the credit score, now the interest rate 6%. We got them. Give the houses away. Give them
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And give them
Yeah.
away. Let them have them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's
they're gonna
true.
be they're gonna be refinancing them. We got a hold of them now. It's worse than credit card debt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, brother. See, man, we can talk all day, but man, tell everybody where they can find you at. Your social medias, or you don't have no phone. What's your website?
Okay. Well, you can find me on the University of Houston website.
Okay,
You can find me there. You can find my books on Amazon.com.
okay.
Uh,
Before we get to that, can you go down to the title of your books?
go down the title of my books.
Yeah,
The most
name them
recent,
out.
the most recent one is Struggle, Resistance, and Decolonization in African American Literature After 1960.
Okay,
Um, the one before that is a biography of Charles Wright, a 1960s, 70s writer. I wrote a biography of him. It's called This World Is Not My Home.
dang, I need that. Hold on,
Yeah,
write
Charles
that
Wright,
down.
a critical biography of African American writer Charles Wright. And before that was a
Not my
theoretical approach to modern American literature, where I
home.
deal with the novels of the 1920s and 30s.
Okay.
Coming out of a graduate seminar that I taught with the same thing. This one has been very popular. It's been taught in classes. African American male writing indifference. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh yeah.
Where, huh?
I
African
can see it.
American male writing indifference. What I do there is I attempt to say the Black middle class should not control African American literature.
No.
right?
Yeah,
And
no.
so I do like 6 different kinds of Black men writing African American literature. Those who do voodoo, those who do existentialism, those who do the blues, jazz, those who do um, um, uh, urban, those who do postmodern. So I wanted to decenter this notion that the best African American literature was the literature that was written by the Black middle class. And I've always complained that the novels of Slim, what is his name? Was the
Uh,
Iceberg Slim.
Iceberg Slim. Yeah,
Iceberg Slim.
I read that Pimp.
Right, Pimp. We never, those of us in the academy who teach African American literature never gave him any play at all
Yeah.
because we didn't consider that literature.
No,
But it says,
he was in the call me like the Johns used to be over there with the tricks. I remember the first throat I cut. I'm like, dang.
but it tells us about something that has happened in the Black community.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
So
like,
yeah, so that one and one or two more, but those are the main ones that my books.
okay, okay. All right, brother. Look, man, it was wonderful having you on the show. I definitely had to have you back uninterrupted. And again, I'm sorry about the interruption, brother.
It's okay. That's
Yeah,
okay.
technical difficulties happen all the time.
Right. Absolutely.
I've
enjoyed it.
Yes, and I definitely because it was a real good conversation, and it all leads back to reading and education.
Yes, reading and education.
It's the foundation of everything. That's why everybody signed these BS contracts.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
All right, brother, man. I thank you so much for coming on the show. But it's time for me to get this show rolling.
Okay. Okay. I've
All right,
enjoyed
brother.
it. All right.
Thank you.
Take it easy.
All right, y'all. Hey, y'all make sure y'all go support them books. 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 All right. Wonderful conversation tonight about culture and history. See, y'all didn't even know I was that smart. Way smarter than I look. Kicking it with the professor. Yeah. All right. So we're going to move on to community events. Community events. Community events. All right, look. Community events. Here in a couple of weeks, we got the Largo Lot Party going down. The exact date, I think it's like July 11th or something like that. But the Largo Lot Party is in downtown Largo. July the 11th, I want to say somewhere in there. It's not the 4th. It may be it's the 5th. I'm sorry. It's the 5th. It's the 5th. I had to think about it because I'm going to be out there selling books. So it's the 5th. Largo Lot Party. Come out there and support small businesses. All that stuff is going to be loud music, all that stuff. It's going to be cool, right? Last time I did it, it was fun. You know, come on out. And it's from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. All right? Largo Lot Party. And that's my community event. Now, listen. Read of the week. We just had an author on here. So I'm going to give him read of the week because I had a transcript for it. So I started reading into it earlier, and it's really interesting to read, right? By W. Lawrence Hogue, right? Struggle, Resistance, and Decolonization in African American literature after 1960. I started reading it. I was like, oh, okay. I like this one. You know, he gets into where the downfalls in our education system as far as literature come from and the pitfalls of it. All right. Y'all would like this one, especially all my readers. Y'all would like this one. All right. Struggles, Resistance, and Decolonization in African American literature after 1960. Okay. Make sure y'all check that out. And that's my read of the week. All right, now. So we here for everybody's favorite segment. Y'all already know what time it is, right? Y'all know what time it is. You already know, baby. Bow, 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 bow. Dumbass of the week. Oh, we got a good one this week. We got a good one this week. My boy. We got a good one this week. He said, hey, y'all want to boycott Asians? Hey, I got some boycotting of my own to do. So, a lot of stuff been going on in the world ever since, you know what I'm saying, the shooting and old buddy getting off with the case and stuff like that. And everybody's out here boycotting, so they say. Y'all ain't boycotting shit. Y'all out here still getting your nails done. Y'all still wearing them fake ass lashes, them fake ass weed, buying y'all shit from Shein and Temu. Y'all ain't boycott shit. Ordering Chinese food, going to the gas station. Who own the gas station? Who own the 7-Eleven? Asians do. Y'all ain't boycott shit. Shut the fuck up forever. So anyway, he say, oh, y'all want to play games and boycott. I said, okay. He said, okay. I want to play games like it's the 1800s. Y'all want to play games without money? I'm gonna show y'all where y'all came from. My boy said, fuck y'all and y'all boycott. Fuck y'all and y'all boycott. That's what he said. He said, this wasn't no hate crime. I just did it for fun. Bullshit, young man. Bullshit. This dude 21 years old. And you know everybody out here doing pranks and all that shit. Well, this shit I don't think was no prank. This is just me. I don't think this shit was no prank. Not at all. Absolutely not. So, after everybody going there, old buddy challenges black community. Y'all ain't gonna leave us alone. We got this. In your neighborhoods, we got all this. We got that. We got this. We got that, which is true. Every black neighborhood has that, right? They do. They have all Asian shit everywhere. They making all the money off of us because we're dumb spenders. Y'all get a little piece of the dumbass for week 2. For being dumb spenders with them and then talking about you gonna boycott them. Fuck is you talking about, stupid? So anyway, this man say, okay, I'm gonna take you niggas back to Jim Crow. What the fuck is you talking about? Take you niggas back to Jim Crow. So my man gets some lumber. He gets some lumber. Tall piece of lumber. Pow. Little piece of lumber across. Pow. And makes a tall goddamn, maybe a 12-foot cross, 10-foot cross. He thought it was a good idea to go in the middle of a black neighborhood at one of their parks in Chicago. Luckily, he didn't get mowed down. Because look at his face. He gonna get mowed down when he get in the prison, for sure. Especially when they find out what he in there for. Oh, yes, sir. That cross you built, you gonna get something longer than that your ass, sir. Butt pussy, you gonna get beat up. So anyway, he say, fuck your boycott, Jim Crow town. Let's go. KKK. Because you know Asians relate more to Caucasians than niggas, right? So he say, he goes to the hood, stick the shit in the ground, pow, in the middle of the black park in Chicago, and sets the shit on fire. Burnt the goddamn cross. You can't make it up. It's easy. You can't make it up. Boycott us, Jim Crow you. He must have did his homework because he knew right where to put it. He knew who was going to see it. And then boom. So this is why he's getting dumbass of the week. This is why he's getting dumbass of the week. He was outside because they was talking about it. They was talking about it. They was talking about the cross being set on fire in the hood, right? Like, damn, somebody really came out here and set this shit on fire in the hood. Set a cross on fire. But that's not why he getting dumbass of the week. Fuck is you talking about? He getting dumbass of the week because his simple ass, the camera people were out there, the news, Chicago News was out there. Chicago News was out there. And they was interviewing bystanders. Because they was like, oh, a racial event happened over here at Grant Park, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, they reporting on it. Racist incident. They go to the bystanders, and then here comes this dumbass. They interview him. Yeah, well, I didn't mean for it to be a racist incident. I didn't mean for it to be a racist incident. I just thought it'd be funny to burn the cross. You thought it'd be funny to burn the cross. So he thought it'd be funny to burn the cross. Okay, I got it. But you just told the news, you told the whole city of Chicago that you burned the fucking cross in a black neighborhood in a park. Why, how, and why? So now not only do all the niggas like all over Chicago, all the gang members got you, the niggas in jail know your face too. Because you were on the news. You know they only get a certain amount of channels. And the news is one of them, sir. The news is one of them. You think they only showed this story one time? You think they only showed this story one time? Sir, I'm afraid not. So, after the interview, he thinks he's just gonna walk the fuck away while there are police right there investigating this. They put the fire out, boom. He thinks he's just gonna walk away. Absolutely not. Sir, can you come over here, please? Come with us. So you're saying you did this? We just heard you tell them that you did this. Did you do this? Yeah, I did it. You have the right to remain silent, right? Took his dumb ass down, processed him. Because he wanted to be on TV saying, I didn't do it as a hate crime. I didn't do it not as a racist act. As they were putting the fucking fire out, he goes on TV right there. It says, I didn't mean for it to be a racist act. So they took him down to the police station and charged this motherfucker with a hate crime. Now, hate crimes is something serious going on there. Asian hate, you know what I'm saying, Jewish hate, white hate. They don't give a fuck what happened to us. But him, I don't give a fuck what happened to him. Because he about to go get in prison. And in prison, he gonna feel with a hate crime, feel like he about to feel some real racist acts. Some rapist acts. Racist acts, I mean, sorry. He gonna feel some real racist acts. He gonna feel some real racist acts in his ankles when he get off in there. So, for him being dumb enough to burn the cross, you'll get dumbass of the week. For him to be dumb enough to go on TV while the cross was still burning, not only did he get charged for a hate crime, but he got arson and disorderly conduct. Sir, he went and bought the wood. You did this on purpose. This was not an accident. Where you're going, the men are going to enjoy you as they should. You thought it was cool to buy wood? It should be cool to take some too. No diddy. I hope you have a pleasant trip. So my dumb ass of the week is going to 21-year-old Merlin Lu. Y'all remember that name? Merlin Lu. Merlin Lu. Merlin Lu. Merlin Lu. Y'all remember him. The next time you see him, he will have a different pep in this step. I guarantee it. He get off in that prison, handle them all wrong, handle them all strong, and when he get back out here, he'll never buy wood to burn across again. I guarantee it. So 21-year-old Merlin Lu, you'll get dumbass of the week. Fuck is you talking about, fucking stupid? Dumbass. You can't make it up. I'm telling you, you can't make it up. I am telling you. You can't make it up. It's fucking dumb. Dumb. D-U-M-B. Dumb. All right, y'all. So I apologize for the technical difficulties this week. I really, really do. I apologize for the technical difficulties. But it was a good show. Next week, I have a Hollywood scriptwriter, filmmaker, all that stuff coming on. So that should be an interesting show. Man, I appreciate everybody that's been with me on this journey. I appreciate everybody that's just been supporting me, buying my books and following my show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. With that being said, let's get the fuck out of here. Yeah.